his dressing might be, his appearance, his communication, his language, all these things are much more visible in your video resume. Okay, so I'll just give you a glimpse of that also. So as I always say, during the technology advance हो जाए लेकिन basics fundamentals हमेशा same रहे. So first we need to understand what is a resume and what is a CV and what is the difference between. Okay, so curriculum vitae or CV, what you call, is a brief resume or a brief account of a person's education, his qualification, his achievement. हम लोग का वर्ड ऊपर भी समझने की ट्राई करो. अगर आप लोगों की वर्ड सही है तो मुझे नीचे सी को थोड़ा क्वालिफिकेशन typically send with a job application. Job application के साथ जरूरी आप लोग इसको send करें. CV the word means post of life. CV. So एक का मतलब याद रखते हैं post of life. So what all things you have done in your life, it's a brief summary of them. That's what a CV is all about. Right? Now, when you talk of a resume, it's a precise summary of your work experience and background relevant to your job. Please understand this. A precise summary of your background and work experience relative to your job. જે જોબ માટે તમે લોકો અપ્લાય કરો છો એના રિલેવન્ટ તમારી પાસે શું સ્કિલ્સ છે, આપની પાસે क्या एक्सपीरियंस है, ये चीज आप मेंशन कर रहे हैं वेरी प्रिसाइसली. दैट इज व्हाट अ रिज्यूमे इज. Okay. Resume, the French, it derives from a French word, it means basically summary. Okay, so now if I just try to calculate the difference between both of them, it is as well as resume. So, a brief account and a precise summary. So I can just say resume, most of the times, students matter first and foremost, most of the time what we have is a resume. Because do you have industrial experience? Do you have research experience? Have you published papers? Do you have previous job experience? Nothing. So basically, what all you need to present to a company is your academic qualifications, your 10th, 12th, and might be your BE marks. Some internships and projects that you have done, some of your skills, some of your hobbies, and your basic contact details. That's it. So you don't have a material, you don't have anything to showcase or to portray for might be many pages. So for students, especially freshers, what you have is a resume. So first point, first takeaway from today's session is બધા students છે તમારા લોકોનું resume બનશે, not a CV as of now. Okay. Second thing, brief summary. So a resume can be 1 page or at the most 2 pages, not more than that. Please understand, it is not a GPU answer paper that we fill more number of pages and you get more marks. Okay, please understand. First year वाला थोड़ा टाइम પછી કવર કરશે, seriously ખબર છે. Number of pages is proportional to marks. But in case of resume, it might be other way around. More the number of pages, inversely it is proportional to your impression. જેટલું વધારે ભરશો it will look clumsy, it will look messy. જે વસ્તુ તમારે બતાડવાની છે એ દેખાશે નહીં, unnecessary નિબંધ લખેલી. Okay, so try to keep your resume precise. My advice, just keep a 1-page resume, one single page. Unless and until તમે તમારા બીના લાઈફમાં ખતરનાક કામ કરેલા પછી એક કાગળની અંદર આવી જ ના શકે. There are many people who are so talented. Their talent, their skills cannot be compiled in 1 page. एक पेज के अंदर उनकी जो सिद्धियां हैं, उनका जो तेज है, वो नहीं दिख सकती. तो डेफिनेटली आप लोगों को 2 पेज तक जाना पड़ेगा. But always prefer a 1-page resume for almost all attestations. Okay. One important thing that I want to tell you guys is, then what is the use of CV? CV is generally for academic purpose, or where you have a lot of research, you have previous job experiences, તમારા ઘણા પ્રોજેક્ટ્સ તમે લોકો કરેલા છે, તમને ઘણા રિસર્ચ માટે રિસર્ચ ગ્રાન્ટ કરેલા છે, પ્રોજેક્ટ પેપર્સ તમે પબ્લિશ કરેલા છે, પેપર પબ્લિકેશન્સ તમારા ઘણા છે, For such things, most of the time, CV is somewhere related to academicians. Academic field માં કે research field માં એ લોકોનું generally CV. Search કરજો, you will get the CV of Dr. Manmohan Singh because he was a doctorate in economics. He did a lot of research, ઘણા papers published કરેલા છે, ઘણું કામ કરેલું છે. So that is what. So most of the time, if you want to give vague classification, એક છે resume is might be a 1 page, maximum 2 page document. Resume can be as big as your achievements. 8, 10, 15 પાનાના પણ resume છે. If you have really done a good amount of work. એ genuine page વાળા માણસો. Okay, so that can also be done. And second classification is generally resume is for the industry people or the non-academic people. But whereas for academicians as well as research guys, most of the time we prefer it to call a CV. Clear? The resume emphasizes skills. If you remember previously I mentioned, resume contains details for that specific job. If you are applying for the post of suppose an engineer, your skills, your hobbies might be somewhere aligned with those required for that job. Whereas in a CV, you put out all your information as it is. Is it clear? Okay. So, emphasizing academic, papers, research, articles, all the things it is mentioned. Sorry, it's slightly short because yesterday I made some changes because of that. Anyways, દેખાય છે લાસ્ટ જે રોજ એ લોકો દેખાય છે પોઈન્ટ્સ છોકરાઓની સાહેબ પાર્ટ 1 તો સાંભળવું જોવાનું છે. એનીવેઝ આઈડિયલ રેઝ્યુમે સ્ટ્રક્ચર નોર્મલી કોઈ પણ તમારું રેઝ્યુમે હોય એનું જનરલ એક સ્ટ્રક્ચર શું ઇટ ઇઝ અ રફ યુ કેન સે ગાઈડલાઈન you can add on some things, you can omit various things as per your requirement, your style, your formatting that you want. Suppose I want to emphasize my suppose non-technical skills or my extracurricular skills, co-curricular skills. But suppose a particular student doesn't have so much of extracurricular, co-curricular, he has a very good academic background. So you can focus more on that, reduce of this. Okay. Generally you have a header. Header you can you put your name, contact details. Contact details is your mobile number and your email ID. Regarding your email ID, general instruction. ઘણા બધા છોકરાઓના ઘણા બધા ખતરનાક ઈમેલ આઈડી ઈમેલ આઈડી જોઈને તમને ખબર ના પડે કે આ છોકરો ગુજરાતનો છે કે ખરેખર યુએસ નો કેવા ખતરનાક એને થોડું સ્પેલિંગ એ ના આવડતું ઈમેલ આઈડી but the email ID looks so fancy. Being engineering graduates, being engineering students, please make your professional email ID. Okay. When I tell you something, I have to accept that when I was also your age, may use बनाए. My email ID williams.athlete152@gmail.com. Anywhere आज कोई इंडस्ट्री वाला लगा हूँ तो मैंने हम लगा दिया. It looks like a funky email ID for a professor. What you all can do is keep your name as simple as that. williams.oc@gmail.com. Most of the time it is available. Sometimes it is not available. You make some slight modifications, but most of the industries they prefer this. Naam dot surname. For suppose say naam, father's initial, then surname. Very simple, very sober, perfect email. Okay. So that's the header part. Second one is the objective or the summary. When you are giving your resume to any industry, so you try to present to them what actually you expect out of this job. कि તમે એ કંપની માટે શું કરવા માંગો आप लोग इस कंपनी के लिए क्या करना चाहते हैं आपका लॉन्ग टर्म एम क्या है गोल क्या है most of the time this is the most copy pasted thing in your entire resume આખા resume ની અંદર સૌથી વધારે copy paste થયેલી વસ્તુ અહીંયા છે if I ask you all to make a resume and I take randomly 5 to 10 resumes most of the time I will find that 37 objectives or resume will be this objective or summary would be same. Please don't do that. If I understand this, obviously the HR who is scrutinizing might be daily 10, 15, 20, 50 resumes, he will definitely understand. And when he finds at the top, at the beginning only you have copied something, your credibility, your reliability, your authenticity will go down. So chances of getting scrutinized, your chances of getting selected reduces drastically. So objective, a summary, is your copy paste. Okay. educational qualifications. Educational qualifications, you mention, generally તમે લોકો mention કરો, you can mention your 10th, 12th, and suppose now, if the students are making, first year students, you don't have anything else to show. Second year students, you can show 10th, 12th, and first year. Third year students, you can show 10th, 12th, and your CPA. Third year students, they can show 10th, 12th, CPI or CGPA. Because CGPA is starting from 5th semester. You get CGPA. Because what I have noted is most of the time CGPA is slightly better than the CPA. Because CPI is aggregate of all marks from the first year onwards, first semester onwards. Okay, and for final year students, or might be once you just immediately pass out your leave in your 10th, 12th, and B. Try to make it in a tabular form. Please understand, some guidelines have to be clear. Specifically, I don't want to tell you, make it in this format, make it in that format. What do you expect? If you are an industry person, if you are an HR person, and you have to scrutinize 50 resumes in one day, what do you expect? What do you prefer? Long, descriptive, detailed resumes, or very short, tabular form details? Short, right? Tabular form. Tabular format is very important and very easy for interpreting the data and finding out our relevant parameters very easy. તમે લોકો લખો, I passed my 10th from XYZ school, our district, with so many marks, with this many percent. Next line, I passed my 12th from this school in this year with so many marks. I completed my degree from this college, from this university, in this year with so many marks. Why can't we make a simple table? Your degree or course, school or college, university, or your board, your marks, and your passing out year. It makes this thing very simple and easy for any person to understand. Okay, so put your educational qualifications in a tabular format. That would be the easiest thing to do to make your resume clear. Projects and internships. First year students might be, if you have some experience in your school, you can put it up. Second year students, third year students might be, if you still didn't have any internships or projects, that's fine. But for first year students, second year students, third year students, those who don't have any projects or internships, you can participate in various technical events in the college. अलग-अलग colleges ने अंदर देंगे, you can take part in paper presentation, you can mention those things. Paper publications, paper presentations. लखो ही नहीं अंदर. I have presented a paper on this topic in this college, in this event, in so and so year. It looks good. It makes relevance. Your resume is something that you can update almost every 1 or 2 or 3 times. I update my resume till date, this day. મારી પાસે હંમેશા મારા resume, my CV, I have a copy of my hard copy of my CV always with me on my table. Check કરવા માટે, as soon as we end, any of you can come and ask me, sir, show me your resume, show me your CV. I have that on my table because every now and then I try to modify something. I try to change some alignment, some formatting, some mistakes, some sequencing, some new things that I have done. Might be no paper published, I attended some new seminar, workshop, training, something. Similarly, you all guys should also have something to update each and every semester. दर सेमेस्टर की अंदर एकादू पेपर प्रेजेंटेशन કરીને you technical event participated, you participated in college sports, you participated in team sports, you participated in any other competition, you have learned some new skills. If you cannot resume your update resume in one semester, it means you are still stagnant. You thought nothing. Some qualification, either technical, non-technical, extracurricular, co-curricular, or related to your curriculum, but you should be able to update some. Okay. Technical skills. Students, please understand, when you are talking of skills, some students mention Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word. Okay, accepted कि तुम्हारी एक आवड़त है, but please don't call this a skill. If you are really good in that, you can mention તમારી proficiency level એટલે સમજો? Proficiency, like you have beginners level, intermediate level, advanced level. If you are really very good, suppose a Microsoft Office, how many of you can use Copilot in Microsoft Office, MS Office? Copilot શું છે? Very good. Copilot is the authentic, or you can say authorized AI chatbot of Microsoft. Most of you guys would be using the pirated versions of Microsoft. That's the reason why you have not gone through. બાકી Copilot, જેમ તમે લોકો આજકાલ WhatsApp ની અંદર ઉપર લખેલું હોય છે ને, ask કરીને મેટા. ગ્રોક કોનું છે? ગ્રોક ટ્વિટર નું. ઓકે, સિમિલરલી ઇટ ઇઝ ગૂગલ નું. એવી જ રીતના Copilot is for Microsoft. It has very good features. AI ને યુઝ કરીને તમે લોકો you can make very good presentations, Excels, Word documents using Copilot. Okay, so now if you know using this Copilot and you are very well versed with using advanced features of Microsoft Office, to mention karo. Proficiency in Microsoft Office. Proficiency in Microsoft Office Excel. Then that makes some sense. Otherwise, Word document ખોલીને એક document બનાવતા આવડે, એની અંદર એક નામ લખતા આવડે, that is not a skill that you can mention, to be very honest. અને જો તમે આની skill માનતા હોય, you are really downgrading yourself very badly. આજના જમાનામાં તમે લોકો એમ કહો કે માઇક્રોસોફ્ટ ઓફિસ ઓપન કરીને મારી અંદર વર્ડ ડોક્યુમેન્ટ ઓપન કરીને માહિતી એક એપ્લિકેશન લખી શકું, that's good, but you cannot showcase this as a skill. હું લખી નાખું સ્કિલ, મને શ્વાસ લેતા આવડે, મને જમતા આવડે, ચાલતા આવડે. Is that a skill? If I can run for 10 kilometers, that's a skill. Please understand, તમે લોકો જે વસ્તુ તમારી સ્કિલને બતાવો, it means the other person is trying to gauge you. Okay, આના માટે આ એક સ્કિલ. So unless and until it's really worth mentioning, please don't put it. Okay, so the skills that you mentioned is very important. Most of the time, HRs, they focus on the skills and hobbies of the students. Because marks, okay, almost બધા એ particular range હોય. Sometimes the scrutinize already, the minimum 60% વાળા જોવા જોઈએ. Then what they focus on is skills, your hobbies, your projects, your intentions. So these things are very important. Okay. Achievements and certifications. Students should definitely have this. Some achievements. If I start from the first year students, first year when you come, you should have at least some achievements in your school. School level, district level, might be you participate in some Olympiad, you participate in sports events, you participate in some music competitions, drawings, craft, whatever it is. Your achievements show your real character. What is common among all these students is that all of you guys are studying in GC Bhuj, Uttarji. But what sets you apart is your qualification, is your achievements. Something different from the student who is sitting just beside. Kind certification, kind courses, kind achievements. Today, in today's world, 10 number of opportunities for online certification courses are available. 10 numbers. ખાલી GC ભુજની વાત કરું તો એટલા બધા ઓપ્શન્સ છે સ્ટુડન્ટ પાસે કે જેની કોઈ હદ નહીં. Because being a training and placement officer, I understand what all are the opportunities. But I would precisely put it as might be the student is just 10% of the total available resources. Open Tutorial is a platform in which every college pays 25,000 to IIT Bombay, and IIT Bombay gives us free access to lot of technical and non-technical things. IBM Skills Build is a platform which offers over 50,000 courses, online courses from reputed universities to the students, to our students for free. But we most of the time don't use it. You can do this at your own time, your own choice. તમને જ્યારે ટાઈમ મળે તમે તમારી રીતના કરી શકો. All these are certification courses where you get the certificate. But the students don't do it. But if some of you do it and you put it up in your resume, achievements, certificate, certification courses completed, A first year no student, if he can put up 2 to 3 different certifications, okay, certification courses done, completed in this topic from so and so, our platform one, this really makes a very good impression. Otherwise, just think of what is the difference between two students who are studying in the same class, almost 2-3% difference in the marks. What is the difference between you and that student? It's the skill that is important. Okay. So you should always have achievements and certification. Kind તમારી પાસે હોવું જોઈએ. Extracurricular activities leadership. It is as good as your achievements and certification. Extracurricular basically means, see, there are three things: curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular. Curricular is related to your curriculum, your syllabus, your school, your college, the studies that you do. Co-curricular is something that is in line, aligned with these things, like the competitions, different competitions that you do in might be colleges, elocution competitions, essay writing competitions, these things which are in line with your teaching learning activities. Extracurricular is something related to sports, music, arts, anything. You should be doing at least something in all this. Okay. Reference. As to basically, it is very important for, most important for people who are in one job and they are moving to another job. Suppose if I am working in X company and now I am applying for an interview in Y company, then I mention the reference or name of a person from X company where I am currently working, so that in case the Y company वाला नवा employer છે, if they want to find out कि भाई હું ખરેખર જે કંપનીમાં નોકરી કરતો હતો, how was I working there? What was my nature? Am I a positive natured person? Am I hardworking? Am I sincere? Is my nature good? Will I mingle with the company work policy? All those things. So the HR of Y company will contact the reference of X company, and the reference of X company, the person, reference person will give the required details. But now gradually this is also coming up into academics. Students who are going to study abroad, they take something called LOR, letter of recommendation from the faculties whom they had studied from. So in that we mention, okay, this student has studied from us. Okay, he was good in his subject, XYZ thing, normal common format, we provide all this information. So these universities, foreign universities, they send us a mail and they ask us, okay, you have provided reference or a letter of recommendation for this particular student. So please grade these student qualities according to this. They can ask a number of questions and the answer. So might be if any of your school students, you can put a reference of any one teacher who was in good touch with you, who knows you. In college, you can put up the name of any one teacher who might be your mentor. अलग-अलग students ने mentors allot કરવામાં આવ્યા છે કે આવશે. Gradually you will come to know. Every 20 students, we make a batch and we give it to one particular faculty. So you can talk to that faculty, not for a technical things, your non-technical things. If you are having some stress, some issues related to teaching, related to college, related to food, related to your friends, related to your family, you can just talk to them as a counselor, as a guide. If you can mention the name of that person. But whenever, always remember, whenever you are mentioning the name of a person as a reference in anything, always tell that person, sir, आपका नाम मैंने यहाँ पे as a reference किया हो. Suddenly, I should not be sure. Hello, I'm calling from so and so firm. This particular student has mentioned you as his reference. So we just need to get some information about it. I should not be sure. But when someone tells me, sir, मैंने आपका नाम reference किया है. Okay, so I'm alright. Might be when a call आवी सके, I might get an email regarding his details. So I have to be true. Okay. So that's reference. That's why it is mentioned that almost our cover the user. I'll just scan very fast. Photos. Resume ની અંદર photos રાખવાનો પણ trend છે, ના રાખવાનો પણ trend છે. But please don't put trendy photos in your resume. Right? This is not your TikTok. This is not your Insta profile ID. So please put a normal passport size photograph of yours. Okay? Passport size means મોટું દેખાવું somewhere to here. પછી all these things, latest જે પણ માર્કેટમાં, latest things are not allowed in this. Only the traditional formal things are allowed. Okay? So if you want to put a photo, tamari choice. If you don't want to put a photo, that's fine. But if you put it, please put a proper formal photo. Formal photograph is a passport size photo with the generally the thing is your shirt should be dark colored, background should be preferably white. That's what the general trend is. Okay. So we're going to change time to challenge. The main idea is your face should be clear against the background. Okay. Objective we already discussed. Objective summary we discussed. Optimum length. For you all guys, as I said, just make a one-page resume. That would be the best possible thing. Order is very important. Order in a resume. I start the resume with my name, contact details, and then suppose if I put up my objective or summary, and then after that I put up my education qualification. Education qualification so many things. I put first 10, then 12. Suppose I am talking about myself. I first put 10, 12, my bachelor's, my master's, and my doctorate. So these are the things how it means. Now I go to the next section. For example, my papers present. Okay, in that I first put down the paper which I presented in 2025. After that 2023. उसके बाद suppose in 2019. Can you see the contrast? In the first one, education qualification, I did first qualification first. That is, I did 10th first. So 10th comes in the top. Then 12. Then B, ME, PhD. But when I presented the papers, I put it the other way around. Last first. Last I presented 2025. Then the 2025 paper comes first, then 23, then 20. Don't do this. Follow the same sequence. If I am using the first come first, so pachi, in papers also, the first paper if I presented in 2012, I should mention that paper first. 2012, 16, 19, 22, 24, 23. Otherwise, you put it the other way around. Degree also you put it like doctorate first because doctorate may chelle complete. So whatever is done last, you put it first. That sequence is important. કેટલી details under mention करेली. If you put out your achievements, if you put out your extracurricular activities, if you put out your internships, everywhere follow this pattern. Either you have the first achievement first or you have the last achievement first. બધી જગ્યાએ same વસ્તુ follow કરો. Am I clear what I am saying? Okay. As I said, the resume should not be messy and descriptive. Please understand, it is not a GPA 7-mark question. It is just as good as an MCQ, as good as a one-line answer, a short answer. Wherever possible, try to put out the things, data in bullet formats or might be in tabular formats. Don't use large descriptions. Projects ni under many of the students might write, I did my summer internship for 2 weeks from this date to this date at Reliance Industries Limited, Jamnagar. I have seen this plant, that plant, that plant. I did a report in this. My guide was so. Who is interested in reading all this? I would be preferred in seeing something like summer internship, industry, Reliance Jamnagar, duration, 15 days, that's it. In remarks, if I want to see, I can mention, I worked in this particular section, this particular unit. That's it. Try to keep your resume as precise as possible. Okay. Proper formatting is very important. AI will use very support. If you don't use AI, you can use Word. They give you underlines. If there is a spelling mistake, they show you red ones. If there's a grammatical mistake, they show you green ones. But please don't make typing mistakes, grammatical mistakes in your resume. Please, it looks very bad. My qualification, that person might be a person who cannot present or who cannot produce his resume without any mistake. What level of quality, what level of work can I expect from that in his work? That's why we sometimes say first impression is the last impression. In the subsequent sessions, when we will be taking up personal interviews, I'll tell you why first impression is last impression. It's actually scientific. It actually makes sense. Okay, so please ensure once you make your resume, you either put it in ChatGPT, you either use the Word, normal Microsoft Office Word to ensure that there are no grammatical mistakes or spelling. And one more thing regarding formatting, I think you all know what is left align, center align, right align, right? Left align no matlab bધી વસ્તુ left માં. Suppose you are something like this, left align means everything will start from this side. Center line means everything will be centered around the center line. Third one is the right align. And the fourth one, and the one that is for almost every documentation work, is the justify. Means every line will start and end at a particular point. So depending on the number of words, computer itself will ensure that adequate word spacing is there and the next word would be sent to the next line. But the lines will remain uniform. Formatting in the house to pass their line. Many students make mistake in this. Most of the time the resume is left aligned. Okay. Don't copy hobbies. International world famous bધી hobbies છે. Traveling, listening music, playing cricket. આમાં લગભગ 90% જીસી પૂજાવી. તમને લોકોને કહું કે તમારા ત્રણ હોબીઝ લખો, આ ત્રણ નહીં હોય લગભગ એવો કોઈ છોકરો આમાં નહીં. Playing cricket, listening music, traveling. Most of the time I find one of these hobbies, in fact ઘણા બધા રિઝ્યુમ્સ આ ત્રણ સ્ટાન્ડર્ડ ફોર્મેટ જ છે. આ ત્રણ ચોટાડી દેવા. Please don't do this. Put up something that actually belongs to you. And if you don't have, to be very honest, don't put it. You put something related to cricket, and if they ask you yesterday what was the score in India-England test match, and you are like, it will be like 8 wicket. Don't do this. Never give any chance to the other person in your resume to find out some loopholes in your resume. Okay, સામેથી આપણે બધા છીએ. Proficiency level I mentioned, please don't put out any wrong data. Manipulating your marks, CPI, CGPA, your college, your age, whatever. Please don't put out. It has happened in the past that some students get selected in a company, but during document verification, they lose the job. They lose the jobs of good reputed private companies. Even government jobs they lose because they say they are graduate. They produce some certificate. But all these certificates are actually verified with the institute or the university. And then it is found that this is a fake degree. Some of our scams gonna sound like that. There is no need to do it. Please don't fake any data. Typo and grammatical mistakes are already mentioned. Always proofread your resume. Proofread का मतलब खबर है? What do you mean by proofread? Simple word. Proofreading. To ensure, આપણે કહીએ ને revise કરી exam ની પહેલા, જતા પહેલા. It's that same thing. You have made your resume. Please go through it once again. A simple logic याद रखिए. हमेशा लाइफ में एक चीज याद रखना. If you don't like looking at your resume, no one else will like it. I put it out very plainly. If I don't like to see my resume, if I don't like to see my CV, no one else will definitely like it. 110%. So we have to be confident. We have to keep on looking at our CV. We have to keep on looking at our resume, changing it, editing it, formatting it every other day, whenever and wherever possible. So gradually, when you keep on looking at, you gradually find out small flaws, some changes that you can make. As a result of which, your overall resume is gradually refined, rather than making it just the previous day night. आज कैंपस इंटरव्यू तो कल रात को बना के बैठ के सब लोग रिज्यूम बना रहे, फिर उसके अंदर किसी ने हॉबीज नहीं बदली, किसी ने नाम नहीं बदला, किसी ने फादर्स नेम नहीं बदला, किसी ने एड्रेस नहीं बदला, किसी ने जेंडर नहीं बदला. फिर पता चला किसी ने कैंडिडेट का नाम बुलाया, लड़का आ गया अंदर, ये तुम हो, यहाँ पे जेंडर में तो फीमेल लिखा है. Don't create such embarrassing situations. Design formatting you already discussed. Don't use any you can say stylish fonts. Most of the time, what we use traditionally for all formal communications is Times New Roman. Sometimes you also use median or end. I think apart from this, nothing. One or two pages I already mentioned. Bullet points is preferable as compared to paragraphs. Don't use paragraphs. Okay. Uh, don't send your resume to anyone in Word form, please. Word format में कोई भी send नहीं करो. In case you are sending soft copy, otherwise hard copy में तुम लोग आप बोलो. Always once you make your resume, convert that into PDF and save. If you take printout, take the printout from your PDF, not from the Word form. Always remember margins on both sides, top and the bottom. It should be uniform. एक बार को વધારે જગ્યા છે दूसरे साइड पे जगह ही कम है ऐसा नहीं होता. ओके सब वेरी कॉमन थिंग. बट अगर आप लोगों में से सबको सारे बच्चे अगर अपना रिज्यूम लेके आए होते, most of these errors would be found in your resume for sure. That's okay. But what is better or what is preferable? Your mistakes found out by me or your mistakes found out by an industry HR? What would you prefer? Your mistakes found out by me or pointed out by me, or your mistakes found out or pointed out by an industry person? Right? Journey under the technique, whereas pati jai, that's better. Rather than a third person coming and nothing. Probably the last 2 to 3 slides, that's it. It is the most important tool to market yourself. When does the person see your resume? Campus interview ni under, most of the time a person sees your resume before they actually see you. Because તમારા લોકોને બધાના resume જે છે પહેલાથી collect કરી લેવામાં આવે and all the resumes are sent to that particular company HR. First they just go through briefly, they go through the resume and then they call you for the personal interview. So actually speaking, your resume is your first impression that you give in front of the company HR. Now you have to understand how important, how relevant it is. Your resume should be so impressive, should be so attractive કે તમને લોકોને resume જો તમારું resume જોઈને એ લોકોને લાગવું જોઈએ no, I want to meet this candidate. Your resume should be so impressive. And sometimes in the case of a normal campus interview where they have the resume, they have the company presentation, then they go for might be group discussions or written test અને પછી એ લોકો shortlist કરીને તમને લોકોને બોલાવે for interviews. In walk-in interviews, what do they do? Most of the time, they just collect your resume, then they shortlist. This shortlisting is not only based on the marks, it is based on the quality of your resume, the skills that you mention. And many times, what happens is, ઘણા લોકોના resumes ને લોકો they just sidetrack it. When you go, they might say, we'll call you whenever it is required. So actually speaking, I can also say that your resume is your last chance to make it to the first interview. You travel might be 100, 200, 300 kilometers to go for a walk-in interview for a walk-in interview or might be job interview. And then you submit your resume there. After traveling 200 kilometers, morning, evening, you are meeting there, and the evening 5 o'clock they tell you, we have filed your resume, we'll call you whenever vacancies available. But the fact or the actual thing is, you know, તમારા resume email કોઈ લાગ્યું નહીં તમારી સાથે વાત કરવામાં. So unless and until you have a good, strong resume, people will not even want to like you, will not even want to talk to you. That is the importance of a resume. તમારા professional life નું starting કે first step છે તમારું resume. Your campus placement begins with your resume. That is how important. Okay. As I said, we have come to the end of the conventional presentation. Now, I'll just try to brief what is this AI assisted resume. Okay. Most of the time, what the student does is કે તમે લોકો તમારું જે resume છે એ resume ને તમે લોકો કોઈ you take the format from any of your friends you edit your details, right? That's how most of the times you can guess. But now, how many of you know about chat GPT? Just one. How many of you know? સાંભળેલું છે chat GPT વિશે? Please select with all the hands. Chat GPT. Okay, hands down. Let me put it other way. કોને chat GPT વિશે સાંભળ્યું જ નથી? શું બધે સાંભળેલું છે, right? How many of you use chat GPT? Good number of students. Good. See, technology is to be embraced. Technology use karwa માટે. But we should always know what are the pros and cons of a technology. I'll tell you very recently what happened. એક એક્સપેરિમેન્ટની અંદર એક પ્રોજેક્ટ આપ્યું કે કામની અંદર છોકરાઓને કીધું કે ભાઈ આનું એક્સપેરિમેન્ટ છે એનું કન્ક્લુઝન લખીને આવો. એનું તો કાંઈ વાંધો નતો, લખી નાખી. છોકરાઓ ઘરે ગયા, ચેટ જીપીટી કીધું આવી તકલીફ છે. ચેટ જીપીટી બહુ મસ્ત જોરદાર ઇંગ્લિશમાં લખીને આપી દીધું. ચેટ જીપીટી લખ્યું છે મોબાઈલ, એમાંથી આપણે ઉતારવાનું તો ખરી. કોપી કરવામાં અક્ષર થોડું ઘણું પ્લસ માઇનસ થઈ ગયું, સ્પેલિંગ જરા ઘણા પ્લસ માઇનસ થઈ ગયા. પછી હું વાંચવાનું. Now, my English is not so good. ઓકે, હવે ઈ ઇંગ્લિશમાં હું વાંચવાનું તો મને ખબર ન પડી કે આ શું લખ્યું છે. પછી મેં જે તેજસ્વી તારલો હતો એને પૂછ્યું કે ભાઈ આ તે શું લખ્યું છે. So he was stuck. એને ખબર નથી એને શું લખ્યું. This is actually the biggest problem with students. नकल में अकल होनी चाहिए. नकल करने के लिए अकल लगाना पड़ता है, सभी वैसी नकल करें. ठीक है? Whenever you use any technology, please understand that you have to know in advantages and disadvantages. Can any one of you very briefly tell me what is the disadvantage or one of the weaknesses of ChatGPT or any AI? Can, before that, can anyone of you tell me what is AI? एकदम सिंपल देसी भाषा में, what is AI? Very good. સાચી વાત. But if suppose say you are talking to a novice, એક એવો પર્સન કે જેને કઈ ખબર જ નથી AI વિશે, એને સમજાવવું હોય તમે લોકો એકદમ દેશી ભાષામાં કઈ રીતના સમજાવી શકો? હા, all the sources, all the information in one box. Okay, so badi information તમને એક જગ્યાએ મળી જાય. The best example that sometimes I give to students on any particular person is, you have seen that movie Robot, right? Robot movie જોઈ છે ને તમે લોકો, રજનીકાંત. How does that robot study? He think that delivery કરાવી, operation કરાવી દે છે. he વાંચે કઈ રીતના? He just takes a book and does something like this and he grasps the entire knowledge. AI is nothing else. તમારી પાસે જેટલું પણ લિટરેચર, જેટલું પણ મટીરિયલ, જેટલું પણ નોલેજ અવેલેબલ છે, you have put it in one place. What AI does is, AI extracts the required information. Whenever you put them in a picture, it tries to extract the best possible answer to that from the available resources. Now please tell me, if I put wrong resources, wrong basics, wrong fundamentals, or wrong knowledge into AI, what is the answer that I'm going to get? Wrong. They say we need to train ChatGPT. ChatGPT ને તમારે ટ્રેન કરવું પડે. તમે સવાલ પૂછતા જાઓ, પછી તમારી સાથે ભાઈબંધ બેનપણીની જેમ જ વાત કરવાની. સાવ લલ્લુ જેવો સવાલ પૂછે, ગ્રેટ ક્વેશ્ચન. એવું કેવું ગ્રેટ ક્વેશ્ચન? Okay, but now they talk more like, you can say, a human, like a friend, rather than a computer or a machine. So please remember, whenever you get any data from ChatGPT or any particular thing, it's not about ChatGPT, any particular, please ensure that you cross-verify it, you verify its authenticity from your own side. If you ask, it is raining outside, is college working today? ChatGPT might give you some answer. It might not be true. Okay, so now, as most of you guys know what ChatGPT is, have any one of you actually tried to make a resume in ChatGPT? Application, I think almost everyone would have done, right? Application is છોકરાઓનો બહુ જોરદાર આવે આજકાલ. Since last 3, 4, 5 months I have noted. Before a year or so, તમે છોકરાને application મંગાવો ને તો એ લોકો કાગળની અંદર લખીને આપે, તમને એમ શું લખ્યું છે ભાઈ, નામ ના ધડાવો કે કામ ના ધડાવો. ઇંગ્લિશ વાંચીને એમ થાય તમારી ટૂંકારે વાત કરે, તમારી ચોસરાઈની વાત કરે, એવું ઇંગ્લિશ છે. અને આજકાલ ઓહો હાર્વર્ડ વાળા શરમાઈ એવું ઇંગ્લિશ કદાચ. બટ એને પછી પાછું વાંચવાનું કે ને, પ્લીઝ રીડ ધીસ વાંચીને. Okay, so I think applications, most of you guys would have written somewhere or anywhere. But have anyone of you tried using ChatGPT for a resume? Try करें? Let me just see if I have it with this. Because you will find it. I think I am like I will take my answer very fast. Can you make a resume for me? Next speed is relatively slow. My take will be some time. Believe me, both are there. हम लोग विचार ना करें. Just read out. To get started, please provide the following information: full name, email, phone number, location, LinkedIn ID, education qualification, professional experience. See, it's already loaded. Can you see this point? It's already loaded. Because before some days I was trying to make a resume out of it, and it already made a resume. Just only did it. You can just see the resume अंदर single details almost all details are full name, email ID you can enter, phone number, location, LinkedIn or personal website, educational background, professional experience, other roles, skills, certification and achievements, language. Once you fill in the blanks above, you can type in your answers and generate a clean, moderate resume in good Word and medium font. So it's like a small MCQ, but detail because it will take more time of yours. But I just want to show you how easy actually it is. તમે લોકો આની અંદર જ તમારું નેમ લખીને તમારું નામ લખી નાખો, તમે લોકો લોકેશન લખીને સપોઝ ભુજ લખી નાખો. Gradually it will keep on filling all these details and finally you will get a very good format of your resume. Then you can almost દરેક question પછી તમે કોઈ details આની પાસે માગો છો, almost after every question it will ask you a question that do you want a printable PDF format? Just say yes. The good part about this ChatGPT or suppose ChatGPT, that's the only thing that I am using. So the good part about this is તમને લોકોને જે chat છે એ chat ની અંદર જ if you keep on continuing, so that particular chat has your history. કે સપોઝ આની પહેલા શું ડિસ્કશન થયેલું છે, all those things is there already in this memory. And that is what to AI they say, that you have to train your chat GPT, you have to train your AI. Gradually it adapts to your usage. તમે લોકો જે રીતે યુઝ કરો છો, તમને કયા ટાઈપની માહિતી જોઈએ છે, all these things it will gradually give. So this is as simple as that. Just જેમ તમે લોકો એપ્લિકેશન લખો છો એવી જ રીતના આ વસ્તુ લખી નાખો. You put in all the details that is asked. તમે લોકો certificate language છે, ઉપર તમે લોકો education qualifications, your name, location, contact number, email ID. You put up all these details and then you have your entire resume with you. Then you can also ask them for modifications. તમે લોકો એમને કહી શકો કે no, I want a slightly different format. I want a single page format. It will make it up. So the thing that I want to inform you all is, first you understand what a resume is and then try to make a resume from this AI. It is very easy. The best part is that it will not be monotonous. Most of you guys will not have the same resume. Most of the time the guys are given so resume almost same format. It will not be. You will get something different, a unique resume. Is it clear? Another thing that I mentioned in the beginning is video resume. I think we try to do that. Now some students try really hard. The best example of what you can do using AI. This is another app, agent name app. Free version is very limited, very less. Audio will not be important, but still. What I have done in this is I just put up one photo of mine and I give the script. My name is Neelam Singh. I am working as assistant professor in this college. Just around the limit was around 200 words. Also, actually, નાનકડું સ્ક્રિપ્ટ આપ્યું અને મારો ફોટો અપલોડ કર્યો. They did this lip sync thing and almost made a video of it. આ જ વસ્તુ અવતારને યુઝ કરી મીન્સ એ લોકોના જે પ્રીસેટ that don't have. Sorry, but I cannot have this audio. Audio in the almost I have given my entire information, almost 3 to 4 paragraphs. Job શું છે, profile શું છે, મારું suppose છે doctorate, referring, blah blah blah, n number of things I have said. This person is coming on the screen and reading it out entirely. Now, મારો જે video હતો, it was limited to might be 5 to 10 seconds. But if I procure or purchase a paid version, in that case, આખે આખો video આ ટાઈપનો પણ બનાવી શકું. So આજકાલ જે તમે લોકો જે બધા fake videos AI આવે છે માર્કેટની અંદર, that is made by something like this. And to be very honest, if I can make it, definitely you all can make it. So હું આવી રીતના બનાવી શકું તો તમે લોકો easily બનાવી શકો. There are many different applications. Okay, so this is AI assisted video resume. But તમે લોકો normally video resume બનાવી શકો in good formals. એક રેકોર્ડ કરો તમે લોકો તમારો જ વિડીયો કે સપોઝ one of the most important questions. So personal interviews ને જ્યારે આપણે સેશન લેશું એ ટાઈમ હું તમને લોકોને સમજાવીશ. One of the most important things, one of the most important questions, it can be the turning point of your interview during any personal interview for job, is tell me something about yourself. આજે તમે આટલા લોકોએ બેઠા છો, if I tell any of you guys to speak 2 minutes about nothing else in this world but just about yourself, I assure almost 99% of students won't be able to do it. ખાલી 2 મિનિટ તમને લોકોને તમારા વિશે બોલવાનું છે in any language that you like. Gujarat, you speak in Gujarati, you speak in Hindi, you speak in English, fine. But almost no one will be able to do this. That is the biggest problem. આપણને આપણા વિશે જ ખબર નહીં. મારે સપોઝ છે મારા વિશે સારી કોઈ માણસને પ્રેઝન્ટ કરેલી છે. In that case, I cannot present myself for more than might be almost none of you will go beyond 30 seconds. Best cases might be 1 minute. 2 minutes, very difficult. The day you can speak about yourself for 2 minutes with confidence, you are really at a good level. You can perform really effectively. The students to group say, notice group. In that, I'll put up the details. All the students, especially the first year students, need to make an AI assisted resume, not the video resume, AI assisted resume for themselves. And then I will tell you how I am going to collect it or how you need to send it to me by mail or whatever it is, I will tell you. But anyways, all the students have to make a AI assisted resume of theirs. Okay, it might happen randomly. Any particular day, I might meet any student and just ask him, show me your resume. I know when road पर जाता है, they might ask you, show me your license. Similarly, might be in colleges they ask you, show me your ID card. In home से क्या बोलती भटकाएगी, I might ask you, show me your resume. Okay, so resume बना लेना, उसको मोबाइल में अच्छी जगह पे संभाल के रखना, जहाँ तुरंत निकाल के दिखा सकते. ओके, सेफ एंड सिक्योर जगह पे अच्छे से संभाल कर, मिक्स ना हो जाए, दिखा रहे थे कुछ और, दिख गया कुछ और, ऐसा